So, to the 261 subscribers so far, thank you if you're watching this right now. You have at one point decided to subscribe, and I'm thankful that you did. And I hope that you resonate with what I'm going to say today. I don't even know what I'm going to say today. I've been thinking a lot about things. I haven't made a video in a few months at least, because I have been working on myself. I have been working on shifting my reality. What does that mean? Shifting the way that I see the world and the way that I see myself. A core concept to something that I have been thinking a lot about is identity. How do you see yourself? That really is kind of the whole ballgame. If you're not aware of how you see yourself, then you are either totally fine with the way things are and you like yourself, or you are just not aware of yourself. That's option 2. Option 3 is you are aware of yourself, but you haven't quite grasped, that's a hard word to say for me, grasped that your identity is operating and controlling a great deal of your reality. So your identity is those beliefs that you just take for granted about yourself. It's those assumptions that you make about who you are. And these assumptions cause you to behave in a routine and predictable way. And we take them for granted because they feel so natural to us. We don't question them. We just say, that's who we are. That's just who I am. And over the last few months, I've really been examining some of these core beliefs that I think I have operating under the surface. I'm trying to lift them out and see them and let them go and choose to develop a new identity. So why is identity so important? It's because all of our beliefs are built on top of our identity, and all of our actions come from what we believe is possible. If we believe something is possible for us, we're going to do it. We're going to take action. If we don't believe it's possible, then we're just going to not even entertain that possibility and not take action. Seems pretty obvious, right? So that's a big piece of this, is kind of the understanding that what you think is so fixed and set in stone in your personality, who you think you are, it really is just an assumption that you don't question. So if you think that people are bad, or you're just not good with people, or that people aren't going to respond to you well, or you have this idea of yourself as somebody who just isn't good with people. You're going to continue to proliferate that experience as long as you identify with that story. And how do we disidentify from these stories? That's really the challenge of this stuff, but the first step of it is becoming aware of it. Just recognizing the pattern in yourself and looking at it as an energy, really, instead of just buying into it and identifying with it and saying, oh yeah, it's me, that's me, nothing I can do about that. Instead, we need to question it and decide that, and realize actually that we can choose to focus our attention anywhere. We can choose to focus our minds on a version of life that is more suitable for us in terms of what we want for ourselves. What kind of reality do we want to experience? So that's a big piece of this. One more idea that I've been thinking about that I think is really important to share here too is the idea of resistance. And when I say resistance, I mean the internal resistance that you might feel at any given moment of the day. So I'll give you a practical example from my own life here. I hold a great deal of tension in my body unconsciously, and that's obviously connected to some sort of mental, physical connection. Maybe it's an underlying belief, an underlying energetic belief or pattern that I hold on to, and I continue to push up against. I continue to resist it. Now, the idea of surrender is something that I have recently rediscovered, and I will go in cycles with this stuff. I will often find something that works well. I will utilize that method for a time, and then the issue will resolve itself enough to where I don't feel like I need that technique anymore. And that's what happened with surrender. But surrender is such a powerful tool that you should not ever let go of it. It's something that you can always go back to because it is so powerful. So, what is surrender? Surrender is looking inwards at yourself and noticing what is it that you are saying no to internally. What are you resisting internally? And can you, instead of pushing up against it and saying no to it, can you just step back from it? Can you just watch it without any judgment, without wishing it wasn't there? Can you just observe it with a kind of a gentle curiosity? Let go of the need to control it. Stop trying to fix it. The minute you stop trying to change what it is the moment that you let go of it. and you experience that freedom, you experience that release, and that really is surrender. It's hard to do because we're always trying to control things. We're trying to, we're too busy saying no to everything that we see around us. At least that's my experience the majority of the time. Unfortunately, it's just the way the conditioned mind has operated, at least for me, and I expect for the majority of people. But if you are somebody who has a great deal of inner tension, mental or physical, I recommend you spend some time just observing what you feel in your body. Watch your mind. See what your mind is telling you. Just observe it. And when you do, the moment you observe it, there's a shift and you feel a release. Your body will loosen, lighten, the tension that you feel will dissolve. And I encourage you to stay in that space for as long as possible. I've had the tendency just to, as soon as I feel that release, I will move on to the next thing. And I'll be happy with that. I'll say, okay, did it? Great, let's go to the next thing. But really what you want to do, I think, is extend the amount of time you live in that space. And get used to that space. So, to wrap this up, why is this important? Why is surrender a key piece to this? Well, we were talking about identity. And you can't change something that you're not aware of. And oftentimes we're saying no to our experience. But when we begin to observe our experience more, and we start to look into ourselves and uncover what it is we're saying no to, well, we step into that space of awareness a lot more. And it's really from that place of clarity that you can really decide what it is you want. What you can really communicate with yourself from a place of clarity when you are connected to that space of release and openness. You can't choose something different when you are deep inside of resistance. You don't have the freedom really to choose a different energy, to align yourself to a different type of energy or identity. So it starts with release. It starts with making the space inside of yourself. And then from that space, you can more easily align yourself to the reality that you wish to create. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, if you've been watching this. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, I would love to go deeper on these topics, because I am just kind of speaking from train of thought. I've been meaning to make this video for a couple weeks now, but I just decided to do one off the cuff right now just to get it out of my system. So it's a bit of a ramble. I realize that, and I don't know how well this has landed for everybody, but thanks anyways for watching this, and let's have a conversation about this to hear from you, and have a great day. Bye.